Okay, we should be live. I'm going to make sure everything is all good, and then we can get started. Okay, audio sounds fine. Okay, 1 second here. We're almost good. All right. Let's get this started. So, with the polls today, I know there was some, how do I describe it? Disagreements because there were a lot of good options. So, I'm going to give everybody who's here a proposal. So we're watching the Browns and Vikings. That game won, thank God. I know a lot of other people wanted to see the Aviators and Bears. The Pioneers and Wizards also tied that game for second place. And then in week 4, the winning game was the Shamrocks and the Ravens. So here's the options. Which game would you guys like to watch with the Vikings and Browns? If you want to watch Aviators and Bears, type in, I don't know, Carson Strong. If you want to watch Pioneers and Wizards, type in the word drunk, because the last time those two teams played against each other, that game was drunk. If you want to watch the Shamrocks and the Ravens, type in Dan. So, Carson Strong if you want Aviators, Bears, drunk if you want Pioneers, Wizards, and Dan if you want Shamrocks and Ravens. And we'll just simcast the games that don't win. So, at worst, you'll get simcast. Drunk, strong, Dan. It's perfectly balanced as all things should be. I don't have a preference either, so want to type in Dan, but you also want to see a drunk game. Well, you can type in whatever you want. You have the power to vote. And yeah, we can start with our game. I would like to rip the Band-Aid off as well. 31-24 Cleveland. That's my bet. Mediocre Malik. Drunk. Okay. 2-1 in favor of the Pioneers and Wizards. Any other votes? Speak now or forever hold your peace. Siri, give me a whole number between 1 and 2.
The answer is 1.
1. That's Cleveland. He definitely said Dan, totally. Okay, so Nick, you can pick your jerseys. I don't really care what we wear, whether it's our homes or our aways, so I won't get the second controller. We played Jacoby Brissett's kid this week. Deshaun Watson? I have the other controller here, but you see, it's on my big table, like where my TV is, and that's like a good 10 steps away, and I don't feel like doing that. If it's week 4 and both people are here, or I guess the other game, not necessarily week 4, but if it's the other game and both people are here, I'll do it. Or if whoever the user is here. But you see, I'm kind of feeling lazy, so I don't feel like it. You'll switch it to Dan if that's allowed. Yeah, that's allowed. I mean, I guess there's no reason to have a deadline on this vote, and there's not really a point. But first, we have the big rivalry game, the Browns and the Vikings. But one time, Nick and I are going to play against each other this year. It seems like whenever we play against each other, the games always end up being pretty exciting. Although I seem to have a better track record. Nick never lost to me last year. I think the Thunderbirds went 1-0 against the Diablos. So we get to start off with the Browns. Browns country. Let's ride. Russell Wilson leads the way. He's had a pretty good start to the season. The offense is played at a 2-0 level, but the problem is the defense does not know how to stop the newest quarterback of the Columbus Aviators. Check down Matt Corral. The Browns offense was very impressive against our arch rivals, the Huskies, so thank you for that, Cleveland. We appreciate it. As Garrett Bowles is hurt on the first play of the game. Is Greg Williams our new defensive coordinator? Imagine that. I don't know if he got it. Nope. A fine woman just texted me. What do I say? You say you like men. That'll get her interested. Trust me. Yeah, I love how I say that as if I know from experience. Okay, not ideal to leave the tight end completely wide open. Russ is now going to take a shot downfield. It's caught by the Week 2 hero, Jalen Waddle, who brings it to the 5. Is Greg Newsome going to become our new A.J. Terrell? Although, at least in Newsome's defense, Jalen Waddle is really fast. But, still. Why is Jalen Waddle so good this year? As I.T. Thomas will truck his way into the end zone for a touchdown. Not a particularly good start for the defense, if I do say so myself. Seller on the black market. Tremble is a top 3 to 5 tight end in the OFL. I really can't argue against that. He is consistently, statistically produced. Starting our first game at left tackle, just like Husky legend Hugh G. Rection. Our king. You have no idea who to root for. I guess in the event, if the two of us were into a big playoff race, then maybe it'd be better if Cleveland won. But with us both starting 0-2, I don't know what the likelihood of that is. So I guess it doesn't really matter. Here comes the offense led by mediocre Malik himself, Malik Willis. I kind of wish I started Jack Jackson now, because it's against Nick. That would have been kind of fitting. But, oh well. Mediocre Malik gets another opportunity to hopefully not be too mediocre. Although he's been pretty mid so far this year. Malik Willis is going to run with it. Not bad. He gets about 7. So I think the Huskies will win the division again. I don't know, because I would like to have faith in us, but we have not been very good this year. I don't really trust Detroit or Chicago, so I guess I'll say yes. Terrell would have been like 20 miles behind Terrell. Or behind Waddle. Hopefully Najee Harris doesn't run it like he did in week 1, because he ran it pretty horribly. Why does Ajabo not... I literally checked and it was on. That's so weird. I went in and checked, and it said it was on for him. I did 5 minutes ago. That's quite odd. He does have... Okay, good. I was going to say, am I seeing things? I went in and checked that he definitely had it on. I think Najee has like doubled the amount of rushing yards that he did in week 1. Is Chet Maho fine? Chet Maho's been starting the whole time. He has, I'm 99% sure he's been your DT2 since week 1. There's a nice stiff arm down the field by Henry Ruggs for 28. Did I switch? Yeah, all the schemes are switched. Depth charts, all that is good. I wasn't lying when I said I was setting up. I wasn't stalling for 20 minutes. Yeah, he should be starting at right end. Josh Uche should be a defensive tackle. But, yeah, as C-Mill says, if you're going to be in a lot of sub-packages, which is a large amount of the snaps, then he should be a rush defensive tackle as well. That's almost more important than regular defensive tackle, because you're going to have a majority of your plays in some sort of nickel or dime package. If Octi is doing a criminal team in retro OFL, I need Big Ben at quarterback. Mike Vick might also be in the league, too. He's an option. He served legitimate jail time. Was he not in? Huh? How is that not a touchdown? Okay, that's fine. Najee can get it here on second down, or he can lose 3. I need to see that play again. He was 1,000% in. Maybe not. I mean, that was close. He should have gotten in, but maybe his knee was down. And then mediocre Malik is sacked on third down. Do I need to get Gus in here? I do need to get Gus in here. Hold on. Hold on, we didn't get the whole thing. Okay, there we go. I think Bosa was in the zone too, for what it's worth. Ajabo might be now with the sack, so that's frightening. Can you bench Willis already? If I don't let other people make substitutions in game, I can't let myself do it. So he is going to be starting the next 2 weeks unless he gets hurt, and then maybe we make a change from there. Would you laugh at me if I said I would trade Hector and ride with Jacoby? I mean, if you get a king's ransom for Hector, which, if you're offering, shoot me a DM. I'm interested. So not a bad start for the offense. We ended the drive off pretty poorly, but at least we moved down the field and scored some points. Okay, cool. A hold on Will Hernandez. That'll push him back. Probably 10, yeah. It's like Matt Corral never left. Although luckily for Browns it doesn't count. So they're going to run another check down instead. Who needs Matt Corral when you have advanced Matt Corral? Would I include Najee? Probably not. That seems kind of pointless. I mean, if it was real life, yeah, obviously you're going to value your quarterback over a running back. But Madden's a little bit different. So, no, I don't think I would be willing to include Najee. Great defense, guys. Good stuff. Russ is 6 for 6. Okay, so that'll wrap up the first quarter. Not great. There's still time. But the Browns lead 7-3. Their pass game has looked really, really good so far. Why was there nobody defensively in the flats? Again, that just seems like the recipe for disaster. The Arizona Coyotes will be playing at the Sun Devils Arena. I don't know much about hockey, but I do know the Arizona Coyotes are very, very poverty. How would it feel to be a fan base of that team? Jeez. Are you in the octagon? You've been in the community since you got here. So, yeah. Can you tell your defense to do something? Oh, I could tell them. They still probably won't. Cleveland's always been a very good offensive team since the start of OFL 22. So I'm a little bit more concerned about the offensive side of the ball for us because I don't really trust our defense to stop Cleveland today. Are you in the Hall of... Well, I guess there's not a community Hall of Fame, so... I guess by default, no. In Octi's defense. I know you said defense, but that's kind of ironic. Tackle him, please? No, he got it. Wasn't Trace McSorley the Huskies quarterback before Mahomes? Yeah. Or no, he might have been the quarterback after. I think he was after Mahomes when they got all those draft picks. The run defense has been solid. IT's averaging less than 4 yards a carry, which isn't that crazy for his standards, but I guess I'll take it. Russ finally throws an incompletion. Obvious run play is in fact obvious. At least they didn't do the Darrell Bevel strategy of run, run, pass. Good stop. So it'll remain a one-score game. Okay, I'll take it. And this is not a chip shot kick. 47. He should make it. Starting to lose hope in Greg Dortch being on a roster in OFL. Well, if he's not on a roster, then he's not on a roster. He either is or isn't. I don't know how you would have hope. Why can we not finish? Story of my life. Okay, so we're going to get the ball back down 7 with about 5 minutes to go. Browns legend Chris Boswell. Make a Steeler fan cry. There's Henry Ruggs again. He's caught both passes so far. Troy Sermon did get cut in real life, probably because he's not very good. I thought he was going to be really good for them too, and then it was very apparent early on that it wasn't going to happen. When he was inactive in Week 1 last year against us, and it wasn't for an injury designation, that's kind of when I knew that that was going to be a bad pick. And then Elijah Mitchell came in, and it was pretty good. Henry Ruggs might be playing with an ankle monitor, and he's still the fastest guy on the field. 3rd and 4. Good first down over to Terry McLaurin. Wrapped up by Jeremiah Owusu Koromoa. Good play. Malik has been pretty good so far. 5 of 6, 66 yards. 2nd and 1. I kind of want to see a pass here. I want to see Malik Willis take a shot. Not get nothing and force us to run on 3rd and inches. We might not even run here. Malik is in shotgun. Oh, it is a run. And they are not fooled. 4th and 1 at the 38. We should go for it. And to be more specific, I think we should throw the ball short. We just had back-to-back plays of, dear God, we're not going to get it. Our team is so bad in short yardage run situations, I would bet, oh, we're throwing it. Oh my goodness, it worked. We threw the ball in a short yardage situation. Hallelujah. For those who missed Week 1, I came to the realization that Antonio Gibson was not the problem. Not that Najee isn't an upgrade, because he definitely is, but it wasn't Antonio Gibson's fault that we couldn't do anything in the short game. Our short run offense is just cursed for whatever reason. So, yeah, I like the call to pass. If we had ran it, we would not have gotten it. Okay, good play. He was in danger of getting sacked. So, that was probably a good play. I think overall the offense has been positive. I know we only had 3 points. 3rd and 2, a pass. I like it. I like it a lot. If we can't run in short yardage situations, don't run it. Another play for Michael Pittman, who I think had the 4th down conversion earlier. Oh, dear God, it's a screen. Just get rid of it. Good. Screens only work 10% of the time, so this team is equivalent of a Big 12 team. That's a perfect comparison. The Browns literally are like the Oklahoma Sooners transported into the OFL. But I think Marlon Mack will play well this week. I'm just realizing your 2 main running backs were both cut in real life. That's ironic. But, will he play well? I don't know. So we get the touchdown here with Henry Ruggs. Good stuff. Did you make Marlon Mack your starting running back? I might have missed that. Remind me to change that before we, before we sim. I'm going to write that down. I feel like I forgot to do that. At first I was quite confused for a sec, but now we're good. Is it too late to take control of the team? It is not. Who do we have available? The Bats. Is it just the Bats now? Because Atlanta was taken. The Bears were taken. So I guess by default, it would just be the Bats. So, yeah, the Bats are available. Are we doing Bears? So what I proposed at the beginning of the stream was a 3-way vote between the Bears Aviators, the Pioneers Wizards, and your game. And I forgot who was winning. It was either your game or the Pioneers Aviators. Who did SGYT vote for again? I don't remember. Flag on the play. Oh boy. Don't be something stupid. Are they going to get another play, or is that just going to end the half? They might get another play. Yeah, they're going to have 1 play, a Hail Mary. Wouldn't it be ironic? Would it not be ironic for them to successfully complete a Hail Mary here? Oh, thank the Lord. I was going to say, after all the times I've busted Nick about the Hail Mary, for him to throw one against me, that would have been embarrassing. Octi just showed that Jerome Diggs tore his ACL in a simcast. Yeah, that's definitely true. Totally. Okay, so SGUIT doesn't know who he wants to vote for. So it's 1-1-1. I'm assuming the Games is going to vote for his game. So that'll make it 2-1-1 in favor of the Shamrocks and Ravens. And remember, the other games are being simcasted. It's 10-10 despite the fact... Our offense has been nearly perfect, too. It's just that there have been long drives that have taken a lot of time off the clock, so we haven't been able to score a lot. But our offenses have both been really, really good. As Brandon Linder's hurt. That's not ideal, but it's a good thing we have like 8 decent offensive linemen. All the Pioneers Wizards. Okay, so it's tied at 2-1. So, in the case of a tie, I think we're going to have Siri pick. Malik Jackson clears Malik Willis. Well, Malik Jackson doesn't throw interceptions, so, yeah. Face mask. Nice. That'll get us an extra 15 yards. Verone McKinley, the double agent. I knew I liked him. Don't watch the same team lose every stream. Can we? Well, first of all, the Vikings won the vote for both of those games. Second of all, this game is like a huge rivalry. Nick and I have been rivals since OFL 19. We haven't played against each other this season. So, I know the Vikings have been picked twice, which is why we may simmer down on them being on the polls the next couple of weeks. But this is the game that won the vote. Just saying. So... So the Ravens game gets a vote, so it's now 3-1-1. Oh, what a route! Terry McLaurin into the end zone for a touchdown, and the Vikings take the lead for the first time today. Bears for sure. I don't think he was here for the first vote, so it's now 3-2-1. The Pioneers Wizards has 1. The Carson Strong Matt Corral Bowl has 2, and the Ravens and Shamrocks has 3. Can I sign kicker Chief Keith? That's not a person, unfortunately. Was that Trayvon Diggs? That's so funny. Terry McLaurin is Trayvon Diggs' father in real life and now in the game. I honestly think Trayvon Diggs is starting to become underrated. It's so weird. Because everyone thinks he sucks, and he's a starting caliber corner. I don't think he's as bad as people make him out to be. I never thought I'd be saying this back in like November, but here we are. Although he should not be the 23rd best player in the league or whatever he was ranked as. That's stupid. But I honestly think he's slightly underrated. I think he's not a bad football player. It's just that he's not the 23rd best player in the league either, nor is he close. Dan is the best player. You, sir, in fact, no ball. Can't wait for NCAA next up. I think the next episode should be tomorrow, probably. Hopefully. Assuming my plan of how I'm going to format the video is a success and it doesn't take forever. I'm probably going to start working on that pretty shortly after the stream here. So the goal is weeks 1 through 4 will be tomorrow. The Aviator game official. Did you vote? Yeah, you voted for that game originally. You were the first vote. So it's 3-2-1, with the Aviator game having 2 votes. Oh, I thought that was picked! How do you not make that play and instead Jamar Chase is going to take it to the house and this game is tied? Was that Newsome again? Greg Newsome is literally the new A.J. Terrell today. Although it's not a playoff game, so I'm not as mad. But still, is that Newsome? Yup, that's 20. Greg Newsome has single-handedly sold the game today. Is whoever our CB2 is also cursed? Although I feel like A.J. Terrell would have been CB1. Although he might not have been. I don't know. So now it's tied at 17. I'm happy this game's been very competitive. I certainly hope we don't fall to 0-3, but I'm happy the rivalry, the one matchup of the year, has been a good game. I'll give you Dave & Buster's gift card and the remains of the old Shamrocks GM for Greg Newsome. I'm only into Chuck E. Cheese gift cards. Malik says, F it. I'm going to chuck up a friggin' nuke. He caught that? I thought that was picked. Henry Ruggs is going off today, might I say. Huh? Pardon me? How did that work? I think that's a gain of like 74. Holy hell. I think the defender had it in his hands and Ruggs either tipped it away or he ripped it out. I don't know how he did that, but okay. Thank you, Mr. Ruggs. Holy cow. That was fun. Malik is playing really well today. I got to give him credit. He has been very good, boosting up the trade value. Good run. Okay. Okay. Ruggs is the good. Okay, I don't know if I'd go around saying that, but he has been very good today. I will give him his flowers. There's a part of me that really wants to make a joke, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to go there for obvious reasons. Good stop by JOK. We should probably just kick. Yeah, I wouldn't have hated to go for it there, but I think it was the right call to just take the field goal. Can I change Chet Maho's name to Chief Keef? No, I don't think I will. The police is suspicious of Ruggs because he has a lot of movement with that ankle monitor on. Remember when, like, 5 years ago, Contavious Caldwell-Pope literally played in NBA games, I'm pretty sure, with an ankle monitor for, like, a month? Either he had the monitor on during games, or he had it on, like, whenever he, like, wasn't playing. And just going around his business. I don't remember if he actually wore it in-game, but also, I gotta point out, there have been some really bad kick returns today. It feels like every drive is starting within, like, the 15-yard line for both teams. Maybe you guys should let the ball go into the end zone, although that's what I did in the Eagles series one game against the Bucks, and it costed us the game. So, maybe not. But, point remains. Russ going for Tom Brady special. It's a read option and a pretty good run. He gets about 12. Good play. Browns winning the Mickey Mouse first half North. Russ thinks he's Tom. Russ ain't Tom. Third and 7. Obviously, it's a pass. Russ has all day to throw it, and they still don't get it. You know, they could consider going for it. I probably wouldn't, because they are not past midfield, but you could rationalize it. Thoughts on the Jalen Reagor trade? For those who missed the message in the main server, I had a very fun phone call to make about that. Because for those who don't know, my dad has been a diehard Vikings fan since he was like a little kid. And being from here, he also likes the Eagles. And he has been wanting them to get rid of Jalen Reagor. So as soon as I saw the news, I called him because I needed to get his reaction. And it was as funny as I was expecting. He seemed to be more so angry than happy because now his team still is Jalen Reagor, and his team got fleeced for Jalen Reagor. What are the Vikings thinking? That was a horrible deal for them. They should hire me as their GM. I've done a pretty good job building this team. Is my favorite team the Vikings because you're using them? How about no? They are not my favorite team. He cannot escape Reagor. He has to wait another 2 years until Reagor's contract is up, and then, yeah, Reagor probably won't be good to get an extension. Unless he somehow magically becomes really good, but I'm not expecting that. Kwesi is worse than Ryan Grigson. Okay, let's not get crazy here. Ryan Grigson literally killed Andrew Luck's entire career. I don't think Kwesi's done a very good job either so far, but we haven't seen that team play a game. And as of now, I do have the Vikings making the playoffs, albeit very unconfidently. It's just that the NFC isn't very deep compared to the AFC. And the Vikings coaching, I think, will be a lot better. And on paper, they're a pretty good team. And they lost a lot of close games last year, so I think signs point to them being a playoff team. Albeit not that it's entirely Kwesi's fault that they're good. For the most part, it seems like he's trying to run it back with the core, minus a few additions. But yeah, no, let's not throw around Ryan Grigson. He literally tried to murder Andrew Luck. Bring Spielman back. Yeah, that sounds like a bad idea. You just look at Spielman's 2021 draft class, and then you can see for yourself. If we beat the Browns and the Browns beat the Huskies, does that mean what I think it means? Spielman did pick Justin Jefferson, that's true, but Justin Jefferson was also the obvious pick at the time, so he doesn't deserve that much credit. Justin Jefferson was the consensus #1 receiver on the board for a team who had just traded Stephon Diggs. So yeah, that was a very good pick, but that wasn't like some groundbreaking decision. That seemed like a pretty obvious chalky pick at the time, and obviously Jefferson has been better than any of us could have expected. Yeah, the John Gruden thing I found very ironic, coming on the day that Alex Leatherwood, a first-round pick who's been there for 1 year, gets cut, not because he's a total liability off the field. When is the last time a first-round pick has gotten cut within one season solely based on performance? Because Alex Leatherwood has never had anything against his character. He's probably a good guy. You see all these first-round picks getting cut because of character stuff, like just within the last few years, Isaiah Wilson, Henry Ruggs, Damon Arnett, they all had off-field stuff, even if those guys other than Ruggs were pretty bad on the field. But like Leatherwood never had that, so he's just that bad that he got cut based on performance. So, and that was a John Gruden pick. I think John Gruden is responsible for all of those high picks and not Mike Mayock. I think Mike Mayock is a little bit of a scapegoat because the Raiders have had a lot of good day 3 finds since they hired him. Max Crosby, Hunter Renfrow, Nate Hobbs. So I kind of feel for Mayock because I've always really liked him, and I feel like he just kind of got dealt a really bad hand. Is Leatherwood leather burned? He's leather burnt toast. If the Browns score a touchdown, they will take the lead. I feel like we've been the better team today, and we deserve to win. But that's no guarantee, because Cleveland's offense is quite good. I did not care about the 25. I was making my point about Mayock. And not to say he wasn't a little bit responsible for those early round picks. He had to have okayed them, but I think those were more so Gruden's picks. And obviously they had been really bad. I don't think you can fault them for the Henry Ruggs pick because he was a good player and there weren't any red flags about his character before the thing. But like Damon Arnett was a horrible pick at the time. Alex Leatherwood was a horrible pick at the time. Jonathan Abram was a bad pick at the time. Jesus Christ, defense. Cleveland Ferrell was a bad pick at the time. Josh Jacobs was a very questionable pick at the time. So, yeah, that's my point. Jalen Waddle's really good at football, by the way. So we're down by 1. The offense has been very good today. I trust that our offense can drive down the field and win the game. I have a very irrational confidence. Trayvon Mullen kind of counts. I mean, he was like a decent player, but it seemed like the Raiders traded him because he couldn't stay healthy. So, I mean, I guess he's not a horrible pick for the second round, but like they could have done better. I think Jelani Tavai went a few picks after him. They could have drafted him. Okay, be smart with the clock. Just don't do anything stupid. We have a pretty good kicker. Our Lord and Savior, Jack Fox. What was my worst record ever? That's a good question. I know the very first year of OFL I tanked, and I think I probably won like 5 games. Other than that, how often have I missed the playoffs? I missed it once in OFL 19, the year I was tanking. In OFL 20, I think I missed it once or twice. I know the second time we were close, so we had to have won at least 8 or 9 games. Last year, I feel like we made the playoffs every year. And this year, we've made the playoffs. Have we made the playoffs every year? No, we haven't. I think we won 7 or 8 games in year 1. So, not counting a season that I tanked, I would guess the worst record that one of my teams has had is probably 7 wins. In the ballpark? I don't know exactly. Good, he got rid of it. We have all 3 of our timeouts. I think we're in a good spot. Past the 50. All we need realistically is probably around 15 yards. Just don't turn over the ball and don't do anything stupid with the clock. And we should be good. Don't get sacked. Okay, good. Malik, go fast. Call time. Okay, good call. 3rd and 8, I'm a little bit concerned. We don't have to go for the first down here. Just try to get close. Obviously, preferably get it. Okay, that's not really close. And that's a bad timeout call. We didn't need to do that. So now if we don't convert here... What? We're kicking? Are you kidding? We're kicking a 60-yard field goal and letting them get the ball back. What are we doing? What was that? Why would we do that? We have a better chance of converting a 4th and 5 than kicking a 60-yard field goal. And now the Browns get the ball back. The game is over. We have one timeout. The game's done. What a horrible play call. Who thought it was smart to do that? On the bright side, at least we're projected to have the #1 pick at 0-3. How much Hennessy did the Vikings coach drink today? I think the normal Hennessy that's in Cleveland's locker room, somebody must have transported that to our locker room. That'd be my guess. I guess Nick still owns me. Although Malik Willis was really good today, the Vikings do find dumb ways to lose. We're like the real-life Vikings. But at least Malik Willis played well. I'm happy with his performance. GG. Russell Wilson was also very good. Both quarterbacks were really impressive. Both run games were very mid. Terry McLaurin was very good. Henry Ruggs was phenomenal. Jalen Waddle was also phenomenal. Jalen Waddle's been unbelievable so good. And we had no sacks. Cool. So we have the worst record in the league. I wasn't expecting to say that at the beginning of the year, but here we are. Albeit we have had a pretty tough schedule. Hopefully it gets a little bit easier, please. Okay, so where are we at with the vote? We got to make a decision now on what we're going to do. Jamison Crowder is the black Jalen Waddle. Me trading Najee. I still think it was a good trade. It's just that Antonio Gibson wasn't the problem. But Najee is better. I don't regret the trade at all. I thought it was a good move. I think it has worked out for us. So I think we're at 3 votes for the Shamrocks Browns, 2 votes for the Carson Strong game, and 1 vote for the Pioneers Wizards. So if you haven't voted, you can vote now. And if not, we'll make our decision. We'll simcast the other 2 games, to be fair. So if anyone hasn't voted, you can vote. Speak now or rather hold your peace. Oh, start Mac. Yeah, thank you. We want the Huskies. Where's Marlon? Is he hurt? That might be why I didn't think to do it. Is he injured? Did we check injuries? I don't know if we did. Okay, I'm confused. Maybe the game cut him. Because I definitely don't think Hector cut his roster to 53. That would make sense. Yeah, that explains it. Okay. I'll be nice. I'll let you sign him. But for future reference, cut your roster to 53. Marlon Mack wasn't a preseason free agent, so nobody would have bid on him because he was on the Huskies roster at the beginning of the year. So now you can cut one player. You can cut a 65 overall running back who they kept over Marlon Mack for whatever reason. You can cut your boy Jacoby. Okay, so it looks like the Shamrocks and Ravens is going to win, so we'll simcast the other games. Imagine if he just cuts Marlon Mack. Marlon Mack has no guaranteed money. Tyler Fowler, okay. And then we will start Marlon Mack. Kabam. All right, boom. All right, which game do we want to simcast first? The Carson Strong Matt Corral Bowl or the other game, the Pioneers and Wizards? Both of those games are in week 3, and then the Ravens and Shamrocks game is week 4. So after all of this, we end up watching the most voted game for weeks 3 and 4 just like normal. We went through all of this trouble for no reason. Does anyone have a preference on where we start? Do you think your team is mid? On paper, it's not mid. 1 vote for the Strong Corral Bowl. Any other preferences? Can we just... I wanted to be fair to the other teams, so we're simcasting their games. The Switch Bowl. I guess that would be the Corral Strong game because they switched. Salt Lake City game. Any open teams? We have 1 open team at the moment. But new people have to be active in the community for a pretty short time just so we know that you're actually interested and then that you can get them. Okay, it seems like Strong and Corral is winning, so we'll do that. Siri, give me a number between 1 and 2.
That would be 1.
Who is 1? Oh, of course, their game, so 1 game that doesn't show up on this screen. I won't set up the other controller since it's a simcast game. We won't do all the jersey stuff. The Aviators are 1. How long? There isn't like a set amount of time. As long as we can like tell that you'll be active and you seem pretty interested, then you can get them. But it's usually not very long. Maybe like a couple days. I had to wait 5 years. Pretty short. Considering the OFL hasn't existed for 5 years, I don't know. Can we get Echo? If I have to pull out the other controller, then yeah, we can do Echo. There's Carson Strong in a Bears jersey. That just feels wrong. Against Matt Corral of the Aviators. The 2 quarterback. I did not mean to do slow. Oops, I'm used to going slow mode. Well, I guess we're going to watch the opening kickoff. I guess they took notes from our game not to return. Alright, if the game is exciting, we will hop in and watch at some point. I think both of these teams are 1-1, I want to say. So far, so good for Chicago. Aviators answer back. Bears back up by 14. Aviators score and miss the PAT. Columbus is hanging in there, but, ooh, they had the ball. Down by 8 with 4.5 minutes. We're going to hop in. The Aviators have the Walmart version of the Huskies jerseys. They're the Huskies jerseys, but worse. First play as we hop in. Corral with a bullet for the end zone. What a throw. And this game is a 2-point conversion away from being tied up. I want to say that's David Bell. Yup. David Bell brings it within 2. Check down Corral, really living up to his name. We'll see if the Aviators can tie it. They missed an extra point earlier in the game. And they do tie it. It's David Bell again. 31-31 in the Strong Corral Bowl. What happened? I think Kellen Mond was released and he signed, or he wasn't released, but his contract was up. And he signed it somewhere else in the offseason. I want to say it was the Giants. But I could be wrong. I wouldn't be surprised if it was the Tigers because, you know, Jax has a thing for him. Corral throws checkdowns, but actually uses his weapons in Columbus. Yeah, pretty much. You got to feel for Corral. This is his 4th team, and his rookie contract still isn't up. As Carson Strong is sacked by Jalen Phillips. who signed for a lot of money, triple figures. There's a reason why the Tigers let him go. With Columbus being somewhat close to Chicago, is this the closest we're ever going to get to Bears? Not in bounds as George Karlaftis is hurt on the play. So now Columbus can win the game. The Bears. Did I say Bears Tigers? You know what I meant. I'd been talking about the Tigers a lot within the past minute, so I got confused. It slips out. It happens. And they're both from Chicago. Oh, so that probably would be closer to Bears, if that's what you were implying. Then I guess so. Although Bears is funner. Been in the Discord since August 14th. Have you said? Are you in the main Discord or the OFL Discord? There's a difference. If you're in the main Discord, then good, I guess. But if you want a team, you have to be in the OFL server. Nice hit. Who in the Bears front seven has superstar X Factor? I know they have Jamal Adams in the secondary. Or maybe Jamal Adams was a sub linebacker. That would make more sense. Aviators are running the ball here as they should. Bears should start calling some timeouts. Okay, you've been in the OFL server. So as long as you're somewhat active in the OFL server over the next couple of days, then you can get one. Cam Jordan. Yeah, Cam Jordan is on the Bears. I think you're right. Drake London is hurt. Predicted the Bears to make the NFC Championship game. Oh, fumble! Oh, that was close. 39 got a hit. That was close. A big scare for Columbus. They are lucky. Nice run for Alexander Madison to, like, the 8. I wonder what team quarterback Chief Keef is on. I don't think he's here. I think he's hanging out with running back Chief Keef in make-believe land. Bears are out of timeouts. If I'm the Aviators, I try not to score here. Oh, they scored. That could come back to bite them. They should have chewed some more clock. First day of school tomorrow. Rip. That's probably not fun. The Bears have a minute 10 and no timeouts. Can Carson Strong lead Chicago down the field? They've got a good supporting cast around him. Oh boy, broken tackle. Hello. Big time kick return. He's still on his feet and brings it to the 50. Okay, that changes some things. It's a miracle. It's a miracle that school's back in session. In a minute left on the 50. Strong is going to chuck up a prayer on the first play of that drive that's caught for a touchdown, and we are going to be tied up. Marquise Hollywood Brown with the score. Maybe we should have watched this whole game. Holy hell. Both of these quarterbacks are balling out right now. The first throw we saw today from Corral was a super long touchdown. And I'm pretty sure that was the first throw we saw from Strong. Or one of. And now we are tied at 38. With under a minute left to go in the game. Why would the Bears onside kick? Because they're not losing. If they were losing, then yeah, they probably should do that, but they're not. That'd be kind of stupid. Corral under pressure, gets rid of it, nearly picked off. That was right as ants. Did not know both defenses took inspiration from the Browns defense. Can you just tell Siri who should win, and whoever Siri picks, forceman them? I'm not that mean. What if a team pulls a Scott Frost in the OFL? We've seen crazier. So honestly, at this point, that wouldn't really surprise me. We've seen more weird. 3rd and 10. Since the Bears are in our division, I should be rooting for Columbus. But that's not going to help their chances. They are probably just going to run up the clock and send this game to overtime, right? They'd be stupid not to. They're probably going to punt it. Madden usually likes to punt it before the clock runs out for no reason. Okay, breaks one, and that's it. All right, we're going to overtime. 38-38. Tails never fails. You know the drill, Columbus. Don't let me down. Oh, well, they tried. Can you just sim over? Why would we sim overtime? This is the most exciting point of the game. We have time for a 3-minute overtime period. Well, it's 6 minutes, but if somebody scores, it'll be quicker. So it'll be at max like 6 minutes long. So I think we're good on time. Your game is not going to be affected by the result of this game. Overtime is not long. I forgot Carson Strong had X Factor. That's kind of a big deal. I forgot they had Diggs, too. But yeah, I knew they had Hollywood Brown and James Robinson, but they also have Stephon Diggs. Nice stiff arm. Strong has 4 tutties. Second and 4. Strong is sacked by George Karlaftis. What happens if the Wizards and Pioneers is the same? Then we'll hop in and watch. Wide receiver Chief Keef will have a game-winning touchdown, mark my words. 3rd and 14. They run a screen. And they actually got like half the yardage. Your mid like this ratio anyway. Hey, at least Denmark admits it, that his team is worse than mid so far. We'll see if that changes. I mean, it's not like the NFC West is any good. So now it's first one to score wins. Can Columbus score and help out their NFC North buds, the Vikings? Madison has scored 3 times today. Imagine if this game ends on a tie. That'd be funny. Although Madden doesn't like ties. Madden had ties in Sims too often, so they patched it to where ties like rarely happen. Which honestly, I kind of like having ties. So I think it'd be more fun with like 5 or 6 ties a season than none. Because I like chaos. Oh, they didn't get it, so they have to punt it. So now the Bears are going to get it back. The Aviators have Brown, but I don't think he's their starter. Or maybe he's injured. But yeah, they do have Dontavius Brown. Ooh, that was almost a game-winning safety by Davis. Did you win? Your team hasn't played yet. They might just run it to avoid the sack, which honestly might not be a bad idea. That could have been picked. That would have literally ended the game. How's a safety boring? A game-winning safety? That's exciting. What is Octa's obsession with Chief Keith? I don't know. Are the Bears trying to lose? I hope so. Because, you know, division. 3rd and 15. Strawn says, F it, I'm going to launch a prayer downfield. It is caught, breaks a tackle, and the Bears are going to walk it off. Juju Smith-Schuster with the game-winning touchdown. I didn't even realize they had Juju. I thought he was still in the Pioneers. What a game! Holy hell! Who's the corner? Oh, I wish that was A.J. Terrell. That would have been hilarious. Instead, it's C.J. Henderson. If A.J. Terrell had gotten lost, I would feel a lot better about a divisional team winning. Carson Strachan throws for 5 touchdowns. Talk about revenge. Corral was solid, too. Alexander Madison was pretty good, as was James Robinson. Juju was the only player with 100 yards. That's a surprise, although like half the roster had over 50. 2 sacks for Tremaine Graves, the rookie, and Jalen Phillips. Interceptions for the high draft pick Adam Collins and former Viking Patrick Queen. All right, that'll bring us to the other Week 3 game with the Pioneers and Wizards. Siri, give me a whole number between 1 and 2.
The answer is 2.
2. I think the Wizards are home. Don't forget the force win for the Huskies. Yeah, I definitely won't forget. This game is also in prime time. I see why. After last year's matchup, do the Wizards play the Chiefs this year? I think they would, because they both finished in first place in their respective divisions. If there was one OFL 22 playoff game that was crazier than the Wizards and Pioneers, it was probably the Wizards and the Chiefs. Pioneers are looking good so far, but the Wizards answer with a touchdown. Now the Wizards are winning. Now they're really winning. Pioneers respond. Wizards respond. Wizards are looking good. They're looking real good. I don't think we're going to need to hop in. Okay, so the Wizards beat the Pioneers again, 35-21. The Wizards are now 3-0. In their first 2 games, they allowed 3 total points. So the defense was a little bit worse, but still more than good enough to win. Mahomes outperformed Jerome Diggs. Game did end at the 1, but it didn't really matter because the Pioneers were down by 14. Joe Mixon was good. Jaden Jackson was all right. Hawkinson was good, as was Tyreek Hill. I have a hard time not pegging the Wizards as the favorite for the title. They are legit good. Their offense scored 52 games in a playoff game last year. Did they win? That's a different story, but they did score 52 in a playoff game. All right, we can sim now. The Chiefs beat the Ravens in the playoffs last year. The Aviators lost, we know that. The Bats lose to the Broncos, 35-38. A lot of offense today. Andy Morrison Jr. was very good. Dak Prescott was pretty solid as well. Imagine being nervous right now. Imagine having a good team right now. How do you score 52 in a playoff game and not win? By allowing 58. Jermaine Johnson with a sack and a half. There's one. The Beats are 0-3. Wow. That's a surprise. They lose to the Bucks by 1. They had 19 at halftime. They were up 19-7 at halftime. Joe Burrow was a little bit better than Derek Carr, although both were pretty good. Christian Kirk was the top receiver, not Devontae Adams. The Bison win their first game of the year, 42-30 over the 49ers. Jeff Sims, wow, hello, he was really good. People thought losing 58-52 was bad. Just wait until the Browns make the playoffs again. Oh, boy. Colt Riggs, 5 for 104. The Black Knights lose their first game of the year. Those I keep calling them long-term sims. Those preseason sims might have been onto something. The Panthers are pretty good. Jordan Love was better than Bryce Young, though. Trayvon Smith is generational mid. Clyde Edwards-Helaire scores twice. Giddy Dunbar was very good, but not good enough to help his team win the game. Broncos won. Browns won. Bucks won. The Bucks are 2-1. The Cardinals lose to the Rams 24-6. Arizona's 0-3. The Rams win their first game of the year. The good performance by DJ Uiagalelei. It appears Justin Fields got injured. He wasn't playing very well before he was taken out of the game, and was outperformed by his backup, Tua Tagovailoa. Where's your game? We simcasted your game. You guys won. Carolina does have both Jefferson and Rager, and ironically, Jalen Rager's like pretty much as good. The Chiefs get revenge on the Giants. In all the revenge games we've done this year, most of the teams looking for revenge haven't won, but the Chiefs changed that, and they're 3-0. Saquon Barkley scores twice. He is still unbelievably good. The Shamrocks beat the Diablos 34-31. Dublin is 3-0. Worst to first. Lamar Jackson, 4 touchdowns, no picks. Dalvin Cook did score 3 times. The Dolphins are 3-0. They beat the Patriots 28-25. I think they've only played teams in their division, and they've won every game. Demarius Johnson was finally good after 2 pretty bad games. Did you miss anything? You haven't missed your game. We have not seen that yet. 2 sacks for the rookie Alontae Snow. Interception for the rookie William Smith. The Falcons lose their first game of the year. The Washington football team 28-7. Brady Boatwell was not good. Aaron Jones was good, as was T. Higgins. Hopefully he has games like that in real life this year. My fantasy teams need him to. The Huskies beat the Lions 31-24. I think everybody in the NFC North is 2-1, except for us, and we are 0-3. Hector Estrada and Deshaun Watson were both pretty good. Hector got the upper hand. Big performance for Jamison Crowder. The Jaguars are 2-1, albeit it's the Jets, but hey, a win's a win. Noah Iverson and Elijah Chisholm were both very mid. Is Dublin going to be that team that EA sucks off this year? Maybe. I mean, Dublin made the AFC Championship 2 years in a row. They made the OFL Bowl in year 1. They just only had one really bad year. Maybe they're getting back to it. The Ravens beat the Seahawks by a lot, 31-6. Yeah, Seattle friggin' sucks. Those preseason sims were right about Carolina being really good and Seattle being really horrible. Will Anderson with 2 sacks. Saints beat the Tigers 35-21. Both teams are 2-1. Are you guys 0-4? You guys are 2-1. You lost to the Panthers, but you won your first 2 games. How is Dalton Risner there? My team never signed him. That's a good question. Maybe your team did not have enough players at a certain position. I have Phil roster off, so I don't know why the game would have done that. But blame EA. This team is so bad. They have been outscored 16 to like 100. Jesus Christ. I think that's everyone, yeah. Players of the week are Hector Estrada, Lamar Jackson, Jermaine Pratt, and DeMarcus Lawrence. You still have 48 players, right? Let's see. You guys have... I'm far away from my screen. I can't see that. I think that says 50. 2020 vision really come in handy. Did you guys win? No, you guys lost to the Saints, so the Tigers are now 2-1. How many teams are undefeated? The Panthers, the Dolphins, the Shamrocks, the Chiefs, and the Wizards. What an interesting list. The winless teams, the Cardinals, the Vikings, the Seahawks, the Patriots, and the Beats. 4 of these teams were playoff teams last year, and the Cardinals were pretty close. The Seahawks have been outscored 16-104. Oh my God. Are both of those the worst? No, the Bears have the worst defense, even though they're 2-1. And the offense is like 3 times worse than anybody else. Why are we 0-3? Because apparently Madden doesn't like me anymore. AFC North, the Shamrocks are a game ahead of the Browns. The Wizards are now in first place with the Tigers losing. The Dolphins are looking pretty good early on in the AFC East. When the only other team was a win is the Jets, things are not ideal. In the AFC West, the Chiefs hold a 2-game lead over everybody. The Huskies, Lions, and Bears hold a 2-game lead over the lowly Vikings. Carolina is 3-0. Everybody else here is 2-1. Good season for the NFC South so far. Washington and London are both 2-1. And then the Rams and the Niners lead the West at 1-2. I don't think any of these teams have won an out-of-division game so far. I'm excited to see more NFC West football this year. It's going to be like 2011 all over again. And then, just like 2011, the NFC West team is going to win their first playoff game. Siri, give me a whole number between 1 and 2.
That would be 1.
That is Shamrock. Since both coaches are here, I will get the other controller. Wither Wire will be soon. Hector and a 5th or Najee. No, I'm good. Who likes the Echo? I play Apple this week. Yeah, I do. That's right. I have all the fun games out of the way early, other than our Toronto games. All green. Well, you don't really have green. I mean, I guess those are green pants. They look more like black, but yeah, I guess they're green. Did I do team overalls? We're going to do that, how about now? Or maybe I should do it at the end, so that way it's easier for people to find in case I want to see it. Then orange. You guys don't have orange. Color Rush. All of your correct X factors should be activated. If you have less than 3, then it shouldn't be an issue. Or less than 3 on each side of the ball. Dislike. I had the Echo on for 5 seconds. And I never surprise you with the Echo. You know when it's going to be on. That was a good transition. Alright, Baltimore's going to start with the ball. How do you activate an X Factor? Well, if you have an X Factor on your team, then they should already be good. If you have more than 3 on offense or defense, then you have to pick between them. I don't think you guys have 3 X Factors on either side of the ball, so I don't think it's really an issue. Only if you have a lot of X Factors. And I think it only affects watch games. I don't think the X Factor abilities really matter in Sim. That's not a bad start for the Ravens. 26 yards for Chris Olave. Praying for a Lamar disaster class today. You should root for both of these teams to just get nuked off the face of the earth. Okay, what was that? You know, if Chris... Oh, that was DJ Moore. I'm stupid. I forgot you guys traded Olave. He was number 2 at Ohio State, so that's probably why I thought that. Where is Olave now? Was that San Francisco or is that a different trade? Second and 9. Short throw to the flats inside of the 5. Dan's looking pretty good so far. Kansas City Chiefs legend Emmett Barton with the play. I don't think he was in. Nope. Second and goal. Zeke will waltz it in for the score, and the Ravens are quickly on the board, are Dublin frauds. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We are less than 3 minutes into the game. But maybe Dublin is a sim team, which doesn't bode well when we get to the playoffs. The Niners and then the Cardinals. Okay. So we get to see Lamar Jackson, who's been very, very good this year, leading the Shamrocks to a 3-0 start after they won like 3 games all last year. Olave reunites with Fields for the second time. It doesn't seem to be going as well as the first time. I'll tell you that. Boink. Dublin's abbreviation is literally dub, so they should win, right? Isn't that how it works? Gain of 12 for 84. Is that Terrace Marshall Jr.? No, it's Isaiah Likely. The future Raven legend. We need like a camera angle where it's close up to Likely and it's showing the back of his jersey so we can make one of those funny Isaiah Likely memes. Like how me and Octi said doink at the same time. There's been a lot of doinks today. I've also noticed a lot of doinks in Madden 23. Like where it deflects off of the player and they catch it. Which, that seems like something that Madden would choose to have for like players of high awareness, that they actually catch the ball after it like deflects off of someone or something. Third and 3, Lamar Jackson is picked off. And this is going to go for a big return down the sidelines. This is going to be a pick 6. And the Baltimore Ravens are going to extend the lead. Who's 25? I don't know who that is, but that was a nice play. How many points will the Browns allow to the Dolphins this week? Likely 80. Trayvon Merrick with the interception. I wonder who drafted him. Was it Mayock or was it Gruden? Probably Mayock, because Trayvon Merrick is actually a half-decent football player. Maybe Dublin is frauds. Although it's still the first quarter. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. But good start for the Ravens. They have both of their defensive line X factors in the zone. Although, don't they have 3? No, Thibodeau's only a superstar. But that's Will Anderson and DeForest Buckner at defensive tackle. And they are both in the zone. So, if I'm Lamar Jackson, I'm a little bit worried. But I guess if there's a quarterback I'd want in this situation with 2 defensive linemen X factors on, it is probably Lamar Jackson. Because if anyone can escape away from pass rushers, and now they're not even in the zone. But, point remains. 3rd and inches, Jonathan Taylor, I don't think... Oh, no, he did get it. It looked like he wasn't going to get it, but he pushed forward. Sim time. It's 14-0. Let's not get too crazy. Next game, Lamar's X factor is on. He just has to be in the zone. But it is on. If there's an X factor below the player, then that means their X factor is activated. But Lamar has to, like, do something good before he can get in the zone. And so that'll end the first quarter. Not a bad start for the Ravens. They lead 14-0. I think Baltimore's first 2 games were really fluky. I think they'll be fine. They just got off to a bad start. Stupid you can only have 3 activated X Factors. I kind of agree. But I think it's more so for the other game modes, like Ultimate Team, to where you can't, like, completely cheese it. So I get it. But... And it doesn't really matter because, like, players don't get in the zone that often. So it's not a huge deal, but I think it'd be cool to be able to do more. What do they do for, like, the Pro Bowl? Whenever a lot of players have X Factors. How does Madden do that? Dan's isn't on? It should be. Oh, well, I guess it hasn't been an issue today, but... First and goal. Dublin scores a touchdown. They're back in the game. And keep in mind, they do start on offense in the second half. So they can very well put themselves back into the ballgame. Second and goal. Jonathan Taylor is in through the... Why is he wearing 19? That's disgusting. That is disgusting. Seriously. 19? 19's a cool number, too, and you're wasting it on a running back. 19 is a sick wide receiver number. And it's not really good for any other position. Change his number to 7. You know what? I'm going to do that. 19 looks gross. Don't show it to Apple. Taylor is a 7 like Ronaldo. Oh, not a real sport. Doesn't count. He could stay at 19. Dan has all day to throw. I think his X Factor is on. Unless I saw it incorrectly. Could throw over to Darren Waller. Oh, it's not on. You're right. Huh, that's weird. Well, I will make sure to fix that. The Ravens do have 3 other offensive X Factors, so that's the only reason why it wouldn't be on. Deontay Johnson has X Factor? I guess he does. Yeah, Johnson has X Factor, Darren Waller is it, and Zeke has it. I did not realize Deontay Johnson was an X Factor, but here we are! Dan is picked! How the tides have changed. Is that Raheem Pearson, I think his name is? With the interception? I see Apple just saw Jonathan Taylor's number, probably. What is our defensive coordinator doing? I'm changing. I love how you say all that and then, boom. I joined it. Yep, Apple saw it. I had the same thought that you did. Did I not just make the point 5 minutes ago about the players tipping it and catching it? Why does it seem like within the past 2 weeks that's been like a thing now? I've noticed it on Madden 23, and for whatever reason, now it seems like way more common in Madden 22. I feel like every game this year has been, like, legitimately good. I don't know why, but it's been good. Didn't someone say to sim, like, 3 minutes ago? How the times have changed. Football, things change fast. I didn't fart. That was my chair. My chair makes noises. I have a cool gaming chair, but sometimes when you, like, move the arm handles, it sounds like a fart. Or really move at all in it. So, no, I didn't fart. I'm sorry to disappoint you. But it's my chair. I have no reason to lie about it. If I wanted to let one rip, I'd let it rip. I have no reason not to. But that was not me, that was the chair. Lamar's only throwing 2 incompletions. And one of those was to the other team. Always blaming the chair, because it is the chair. Can Jax just make the pick already? I agree. Although I don't think Noel's going to be here for a while. He said he'd be gone until, like, later in the day. But hopefully, I have 2 picks within the next, like, 10 selections. And I'm pretty sure I know exactly what I want to do with those picks. So, can we move along just so I can get my my guys? Third and 1, touchdown. We are tied up as Kayvon Thibodeau is hurt on the play. The first quarter was all Baltimore, and now the second quarter has been all Dublin. Will not take your guy. You better not, or else I'm going to cry. Although I think I have enough backup options to where it's not the end of the world, but it wouldn't be ideal either. A trade is pending. Hold on. Oh, Garrett just traded his pick. I don't know if that's a fair deal, though. Okay. I need your guys' help. Should I approve this trade? Isma's trying to move up 2 spots, and he's giving up a 9th and a 14th. Is a 9th worth it to move up 2 spots? I don't think that's a fair trade. That seems like a fleece. Garrett's getting 2 picks, including a pretty good one in the 9th round. No. Okay, good. I'm glad we're on the same page. Yeah, that's not a fair trade. But I want Ismu to suck. All of Ismu's trades are either really bad for him or really bad for the other team. There's literally no in between. It's so weird. I think I said that yesterday. It's the weirdest thing. That should have been intercepted. Jax is online. I feel like Garrett was on the clock, though, at one point. No, Jax is up. No, Garrett's up. Jax isn't on the clock. Garrett's on the clock. I think the problem is that Garrett thought he had that trade, but it was a bad trade. AJ Terrell invitation. 3rd and 10. That's probably not going to get it. Well, he's close. So that'll probably wrap up the first half. First quarter was all Baltimore. The second quarter was all Dublin. And the Shamrocks do start the ball on offense in the second half. And of course, as Madden likes to do, they're going to punt it right at the end of the quarter. A damn good punt from Jordan Stout to the 8. So we've got a good one. 14-14. The Ravens have 1 rushing yard today. That's, something. It's not like they had the bad run game. Zeke performs well in watch games, so that's peculiar. Remember when I became a blood diner? What? Dublin starts with an early penalty and a legal block in the back on the rookie linebacker, Zach Haywood. That was a very ballsy throw. How is Washington? You guys are 2-1. You're playing pretty well. And you guys play us this week, so you're going to be 3-1. So, congrats on the win. Another flag. Another flag on Dublin. Coach record so far is 15-19. I wouldn't say that's concerning. I mean, that's not much under 500. That's only 4 games. So, I mean, obviously you would prefer for that to be higher, but that's not, like, terrible. Hockey's team is terrible. I've waited too long to see this. I've never on purposely had a horrible team. And I had the highest rating in the league. I have no reason to suck, but here we are. Good play on 2nd and 19, a gain of 30. They're counting that as a pass to Terrace Marshall. Why did he look so fast on that play? Marshall's not, like, that fast. Is this the Octagonal Football League? No, this is your local Wendy's. How can I help you? Were they even trying to cover him? Marquez Callaway was completely wide open. Another nice throw from Lamar. This time it's a touchdown for, who is that for? That's 19. Oh, it's Jonathan Taylor, everybody's favorite number 19. I'm sorry you had to see that again, Apple. I know that's gross. Chris Boswell is for Browns kicker. How does that make you feel? Now I see. The Ravens are legitimately good. They have one of the highest ratings in the league. But as we know, that doesn't really matter considering the Vikings are, well, 0-3. But yeah, when we go through everybody's rating at the end of the stream, per popular request, it'll be fun to see some good teams have, like, 1 win, or in our case, probably 0. And some of the bad teams are, like, 3-1. How good is Dan? Dan is him. Although today he had a pretty bad interception, but he's quite good. My JT28 jersey weeps. Hey, they actually ran the ball and got positive yardage, albeit not much. It's so weird how the first quarter the Ravens looked so good, and then ever since then they've looked so bad. Can't believe... Oh, so I take it that you just saw the end of your game. Yeah, I was rooting for you guys to win. So... Yeah, Carson Strong is clearly pretty pissed. Fourth and 1, Ravens have to punt it. So the Shamrocks are carrying their momentum clearly from the second quarter. Should go for it. I mean, it is 4th and 1, but they were too far in their own territory. I thought they made a good decision by punting it. Lamar Jackson's in the zone for what it's worth. And he's intercepted! Not in the zone for long! That's going to be a pick 6, and the game is tied. Is that Caleb Fairley? Titans franchise legend? Yep, Caleb Fairley ties the game at 21. Who's their punter? Jordan Stout is their punter. And Jordan Stout's pretty good. Just like Caleb Fairley is also pretty good. So the Ravens have scored 3 touchdowns today, and 2 of them are off of pick 6s. It's ironic because one of the only problems I've had with watch games in OFL 22 is the lack of interceptions. And now here we are with 3 interceptions in this game, and the Ravens have housed 2 of them. Lamar is a double agent. Lamar's thrown like 3 incompletions all day, and 2 of them have been pick sixes. It's like we're playing in real life NFL. Bench Lamar and bring in Sam Hartman. Yeah, no. For your own sake, first of all, no. And second of all, we don't make in-game substitutions because I can only use her one team. But Lamar, how is he still in the zone? That doesn't make sense. He just threw a pick six. If that doesn't take him out of his zone, then I don't know what does. That's the worst play a quarterback can make, for the most part. Well, then you have week 1 Jared Goff last year. But other than that, point remains. Hector said he's... Do you believe him? There's your first problem. If he's good, then why would Hector have traded him? Moving up 1 and giving up a 16th rounder. I don't see an issue with that. It's the 16th round. I think Lamar needs to get tackled for a loss. Yeah, since he has Truz, which is mainly a rushing ability, you're probably right. So because of that, Lamar has a good chance to stay in the zone for a while. I would assume a sack would also take him out of his ability. So that would make sense, because other than that, I don't see how a pick six would keep it in the zone. Although, I would imagine his zone ability more so helps him run the ball than throw it. So, I guess it only impacts so much of what he can do as a passer. As shown by the pick six. That was it. That wasn't. They called it a catch. I think that's Isaiah Likely again, who will likely move the chains. Good throw. That was not horrible coverage, but that was a perfectly timed throw. Over to Van Jefferson, who's had a pretty solid day. Not quite as good as he was last year with the Wizards, but still pretty good. And so that'll end the third quarter. Everything was going the Shamrocks' way until the pick six by Caleb Fairley. The Shamrocks have had 47 offensive snaps, and the Ravens have had 17. I guess that's what happens when 2 of your 3 offensive touchdowns are not offensive touchdowns. So Dynasty or... Let me see which one's winning. I don't remember which one had the lead. I know it was close. It seems like everybody's pretty split. I want to say Keeper was winning. Which my team probably suits better with Dynasty, but... When did I have the vote? Was that last night? I've got some scrolling to do. Keeper is 7, Dynasty is 4. Okay, so I guess that's not that close. So probably we're going to be doing Keeper, which... the draft has been set at Keeper the whole time. I think the order changes based on Keeper or Dynasty, because if it's Dynasty, the young players are going to get a boost. So, yeah, the order, or not the order, but the draft projections of the players, I know those are affected. I think if it's Keeper, I'm going to try. I have not found where I can choose how many players can be protected, but I'm thinking 7, 8, that's probably a good number. I don't want it to be like you're protecting like 3 players. That's not enough. I think 8's a good number. But we can cross that bridge, I guess, after the draft maybe. Once I figure out how to change it. Watching Gunnar Henderson's debut. Has he gotten an at-bat yet? Yeah, your base team pretty much. And then the point of the redrafts is, A, adding rookies, and trying to find diamonds in the rough who could be really good, who were not protected. It's kind of like an expansion draft in a way. You protect your key players, and everybody else is available, plus the rookies. That could have been picked. I feel like Dan might sell. Dan, for the most part, has been pretty good today. He started off, obviously, on fire, as did the rest of the team, and he hasn't been on fire since. I don't know if that was a completion or not, because he didn't really gain anything. 3rd and 10 for Dan the man. Good throw up the middle to Ezekiel Elliott, I think. No, that's not Zeke. Unless Zeke would wear 83. It's Darren Waller. Making a move, though. All of my moves have pretty much fit better with Dynasty because all of my trades have been trade downs. So my team isn't as top-heavy, but it's going to be deeper, which probably suits better for Dynasty. But I am a man of the people, and I still think I still like my strategy. I don't know how good my team is going to be this year, though. But I picked a lot of players who I think are going to break out and do better than expected. So I have enough confidence in this year, especially depending on who I get at quarterback, because I'm one of the only people who has not drafted a QB yet. Although I've considered it since the 3rd round, but I have not done it. Ravens are moving it nicely. DJ Moore nearly 100 yards. Rate your team. I don't know who's on your team. You're going to have to help me out. Dan. Oh, I thought he was trying to throw it away. Oh, he didn't even catch it. Oh, what a weird play. Haven't drafted a quarterback either. I think everybody else probably has at this point. Or maybe at most one other person hasn't. Oh, hey, Garrett finally picked. Imagine not trading up for a quarterback. Imagine having someone trade up in front of you for a quarterback. You're welcome. CMC, Herbert, Keenan, JK, Godfrey. Who's Godfrey? Goddard. I think Christian McCaffrey, you have a 1 in 12 shot of winning the league, so why not be aggressive? I think Christian McCaffrey is a good first-round pick. Obviously, the guy can't stay on the field, but if he's healthy, he's the best player in fantasy football. So, I thought that was a pretty good move by you. Gonna draft Rodgers, but someone took him. Yeah, Dawson has 2 quarterbacks because he picked Trey Lance earlier, which doesn't really surprise me. But now he has a backup choice as well if things don't work out. So the Shamrocks had the ball at 37 with 4 minutes to go. Tied at 24. Can the Ravens defense clutch up and get a stop? And even if the Shamrocks score, Isaiah Likely has 12 catches. Holy hell. Even if the Shamrocks score, the Ravens could still have time. Dublin has to be smart here with the clock. They should look to run the ball as much as they can, but obviously not too much. It's not like they're in a chew clock situation. Target to trade up was always Lamar, but when Octi said if I wanted a running back, I had a really easy joke to make. I was just trying to make sure you didn't want Travis Etienne, because that's who I was targeting with that pick. And I didn't want to say who it was, because I didn't want you to try to either move up or have someone else move up in front of me, since I kind of screwed you over of not getting Burrow in the previous round. I didn't want to risk it. Under 2 minutes to go. Dublin's getting close to field goal range. I don't know who their kicker is. So, we'll see what he can do. But from 52, that's right on the fringe of field goal range. But they still have plenty of time. Surprise quarterback started going in the second round. Yeah, but people can't help themselves. Which, I guess I can't really blame them, because those QBs should be very good for a while. I was thinking about going to the quarterback earlier, but once all of them were starting to go off the board, I figured I just might as well wait, which I think has worked out pretty well in my favor. First and 18. They're no longer in field goal range after the penalty, and now they move even farther back. They're still looking like they're chewing clock, though. What are they doing? They're not in field goal range. Who's their kicker? Gavin Colombo. Yeah, I mean, isn't he a rookie? I don't like what they're doing at all. 3rd and 19. Yeah, throw the ball. I don't mind them chewing clock, but why are you still running it? They're like right on the fringe of field goal range. 53 yards. This is going to be close. Which round is Spolk picking Kenny pick 6 in? Gunnar Henderson home run in his first at bat? No way, that's sick. 53-yarder. I don't think that kick looks good. Maybe it is. It is good. Gavin Colombo makes the field goal. That was like a line drive. I didn't think it had distance. But it does, and the Shamrocks lead, although the Ravens still have a timeout and 30 seconds. And all they need is a field goal. They're not out of the game. All right, here we go. Does Dan have ice in his veins? We've seen a few really long passes today, and Dan does have a very, very good arm. The Ravens look like they're already ready to go deep. The Shamrocks are in complete prevent defense, as they should be, so the Ravens are going to run a check down and waste their last timeout. And 6 seconds with it. Jesus Christ, what was that? Now all they can do is a Hail Mary, which, I mean, it's happened before here, but that was a total waste of half of their time. What are they doing? Do you guys not notice how much time is on the clock? What are they doing? There was 10 seconds and they had no timeouts. They had to have not had any clue how much time was left. So the Shamrocks are 4-0, pretty much matching their win total from last year. That was a brutally hard to watch ending. Lamar was pretty good, minus the interceptions. Dan was, Jonathan Taylor has an ugly jersey number. Ezekiel Elliott had an ugly performance. Isaiah Likely was likely the reason why the Shamrocks won today. Terrace Marshall was also really good, as was DJ Moore. This game loves Dublin. I don't disagree. 16 tackles for Isaiah Simmons. That's a lot. No sacks. But we did have 2 interceptions. The pick sixes from Caleb Fairley and Traylon Merrick, along with Raheem Person with an interception as well. Time to get cream. Hey, yo! I see the Huskies lost. That's cool. The Tigers beat the Bison 28-6, so the Tigers are now 3-1. Hey, Tom Brady threw a touchdown, as did Trevor Lawrence. Jeff Sims coming back down to earth after his great performance in Week 3. Time to get cream from behind. Hey, yo! I think we're next. Oh, Jesus. Rip the Band-Aid off. I'm going to say we lost by 17. Oh, we lost by 3. Awesome. 0-4. I don't think I've ever started off this poorly. And again, Malik Willis, he did have a kind of low completion percentage, but he was pretty good. He threw 3 touchdowns. Aaron Jones was very good again, as was Michael Pittman. Why did we lose? The defense, I guess, for run defense was pretty bad, although Aaron Jones had, not a lot of carries. I don't get it, but at least we have our first round pick. The Wizards are 4-0. The Cardinals are 0-4. Welcome to the 0-4 club, Denmark. Antonio Gibson was good. Antonio Gibson gets to be 0-4 with his old team, as does Najee Harris. The Aviators beat the Huskies 31-20. Thank you, Columbus, for doing us all a solid. Matt Corral gets his first win in Columbus. He was pretty equal to Hector. Both were pretty good. Me and Octier in the Cool Kid Club. Help me, God. Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at, too. Shamrocks are fraud. The Shamrocks are 4-0. They look good. They perform well in a sim game, or they perform well in a watch game. They've been really good in sim. The Bats are 2-2. They beat the Jets 28-16. What a weird score. Both QBs were okay. So the Jets are 1-3. They're bad. Not as bad as the Vikings, but bad. The Bears have won 3 in a row. They beat the Broncos. Of course, Andy Morrison was traded for Matt Corral and all those picks. Some of those picks were used to get Carson Strachan, who outperformed Andy Morrison today. Strachan has been very, very good so far with the Bears. So Chicago might be pretty good. Ed Oliver, 2 sacks. The Beats beat New England 49-21. So the Beats win their first game of the year, and New England is 0-4 after making the playoffs. Oh, hello, Joe. 6 touchdowns for Joe Burrow. That's a big number. Did anybody have more than 2? No, only Ridley. A bunch of guys had 1. The Black Knights lose again. They allow 49 points. Their defense is not good. Poor Jordan Love. Dalvin Cook had like back-to-back insane weeks. Are the Diablos back? Well, Montez Sweat here certainly thinks so. He got 3 sacks. The Broncos lost. The Browns beat the undefeated Dolphins, who I guess are not undefeated. Both of these teams 3-1. Both of these teams appear to be quite good. Russell Wilson was cooking. Aaron Rodgers was also pretty good. I.T. Thomas, 5 yards a carry. How about that? Devontae Smith, over 100 yards. Change Leonard's name to Shaquille. Is he Shaquille Leonard in Madden 23? I think he's still Darius Leonard in the game. The Rams scored 52. It appears the Los Angeles Rams have arrived. DJ Uiagalelei throws for 4 scores. This is the first AFC... Hello, Chris Carson. My goodness. This is the first NFC West win that has not been against an NFC West opponent. And we are in week 4. The Cardinals are 0-4. The Chiefs lose their first game of the year to the Pioneers. That's a big win for Salt Lake City. Jerome Diggs was very good. Christian Ellis threw a pass, and he had a higher passer rating than Josh Allen. Joe Mixon is still very good at football. The Falcons clobber the Saints 35-7. After throwing 3 interceptions, Brady Boatwell throws 4 touchdowns. And Trey Lance is still not doing too well here. Ryan Ramczyk allows 3 sacks. 2.5 go to Brian Burns. I forgot the Falcons had Brian Burns. Did they do that trade when Bubba was the coach? I think so. Being out there, cool. I guess I'll start my kicker. The Niners get back on the win column. They beat the Jags by 1. Both of these teams are 2-2. Trayvon Smith was bad, but when you have Nick Chubb, you can win some games. John Vincent nearly 100 yards. Three and a half sacks for Bradley Chubb. 2 picks for Cecil Boone. The Giants get back on the win column. They beat Detroit 31-14. So with the Huskies and Lions losing and the Bears winning, Chicago is in first place in the North. Mac Jones was pretty bad, but Deshaun Watson was a little bit worse. Tremaine Edmonds with 2 picks. The Panthers beat the Seahawks, and in other news, the sky is blue. If Seattle had won this game, I would have fallen off my chair. That would have been hilarious if the Seahawks won. The Seahawks scored more points today than they did in their first 3 games, so I guess progress. And they did it against a good team. Alright, I think that's everyone. Seahawks don't lose by 30. Do the crab rave. Feel bad that the Bucks and why do you feel bad? This is going to be the highlight of Seattle's season. Players of the week: Jordan Love, Joe Burrow, Tremaine Edmonds, and Trayvon Merrig. Did you win? You guys lost, I think, by 3? I think. So how many teams are undefeated? 3. The Panthers kind of makes sense. The Wizards definitely makes sense. They've been the best team in the league this year. And the Shamrocks. Who would have seen that coming? Winless teams: New England, playoff team last year. The Cardinals almost made the playoffs last year. The Vikings, playoff team last year. The Seahawks, playoff team last year and back-to-back OFL bowl champion before that. This game never ceases to amaze me. So with Dublin and Cleveland winning, they are still only within a game of each other. The Aviators also have a good win. Does everybody have a positive point differential here? Yeah, how about that? The Wizards are still a game ahead of the Tigers in the South. The Dolphins, despite losing, are still 2 games ahead of the Beats and the Jets. The Chiefs are only 1 game ahead of the Diablos and Pioneers. The Bears take first place at the North with everybody losing, including the Minnesota Vikings, although that might be disrespectful to the word mid. Carolina's 4-0, they're a game ahead of Atlanta. Washington is a game ahead of everybody in the NFC East. And the Rams and Niners are tied at 2-2 in the West. Is there any hope? Yeah, it's week 4. If it's week 7 or 8 and things are still south, then maybe not. All right, we're going to show injuries. We're going to show overall ratings. Great, Adrian Amos is out, although he's a backup, so I guess it's fine. But we'll show injuries, overall team ratings, and then weeks 5 and 6, and then that'll wrap it up. Miles Sanders is hurt. For those who can't get enough of me, I'm anticipating today's video will come out like 10 minutes after the stream, so that's cool. Oh, okay then. That's a big deal. Saquon Barkley tore his hamstring. He's been the MVP of the league through the first few weeks, in my opinion. And now he's out 6 games. That's gigantic. These 2 are both new, Jerry Jeudy and Brandon Scherf. Cameron Latu's out a few weeks, as is Jonah Williams. Danielle Hunter, compound foot fracture. That's new. All right, now we're going to show overall ratings. If the Vikings had the highest overall rating, I swear. All right, I know it says I'm retiring, but he's not retiring, so don't worry. Panthers are at 88. Ravens are at 89. They have 1 win. Wow, the Seahawks really aren't that bad. The Vikings are at 89. 0 wins. The Broncos are at 87. 1 win. The Browns consistently underperforming until this year. The Chiefs, 82 overall. They're 3-1. The Diablos, 77 overall. 2-2. Washington, 88. Consistently underperforming before this year. EA Sports, everybody. All right, let's see weeks 5 and 6. Lions-Bears is a good game. Both of these teams have been surprisingly good. Carolina, New Orleans isn't bad. I'd like to see Carolina at some point soon. Giants, Washington's a pretty good game. This is a pretty good. I guess Denver's 1-3, but still, Andy Morrison's fun. That's an interesting game. The Huskies and the Shamrocks. Okay. Seems like all the good games this week are at the top. Ooh, playoff rematch. Why do we only play against good teams? No wonder we're 0-4. Is this the first time the Browns have ever gone 2-0 in a stream? This is like the longest win streak I feel like they've ever been on. Jags Wizards isn't bad. Bears football team. Tank Bowl. Are both of these teams going to lose? Ooh, I like this game. Black Knights Pioneers. I want to watch that. Beats Dolphins isn't horrible. Niners Panthers is interesting. I'm curious to see what San Francisco does against a good team like the Panthers. All right, so I think that'll wrap it up. 2 more weeks in the books. I think we covered everything. Standings, injuries, overall ratings, schedule, players of the week. I think we're good. So, hope everybody enjoyed. Weeks 5 and 6 will be this weekend, probably. So, yeah, peace out.